In the summer of 2016, my husband Anthony and I had a fantastic summer in the UK, visiting family and friends, and just getting caught up with people we hadn't seen for a long time. And it was really magical. However, when we got back to Grand Bahama and we walked in through the front door of our townhouse, we were met with this really strong, awful odor. And much to our horror, what we discovered was that the downstairs, across the dining room table and the carpet and the chairs, were covered with mildew. Over the summer, while we were away, a pipe in the guest bedroom had sprung a tiny leak, and it had dripped slowly the whole time we were gone. And it had flooded under the bathroom units and into the master bedroom. And then it had built up and little by little began to find its way and drip through the floor and down through the light fixture, finally landing on top of the dining room table. And it was just disgusting. I mean, there's no other word to describe it. The smell, the odor, the feeling, it was very clammy in throughout the whole of the townhouse. But the thing that hit me more than anything was when my eyes laid sight of this green, white, and black mold. I had a major epiphany. And the epiphany was when water isn't allowed to flow, when it is contained and constrained, then it becomes stagnant. And that this message hit me so powerfully because I knew that what I was seeing was an outer manifestation of what I had been feeling and perceiving inside myself. And with that recognition, I knew that our time on Grand Bahama had really come to an end, and that we wouldn't be there much longer. And sure enough, as these things happen, a short while later, it became really clear that it was time to move on and to move out, because there were situations that were happening at work that were really complex and dysfunctional, I would say. Those are the best two words to describe the situation. And so we decided to pack up and move out, and we did. And that's when we moved to Nassau, to New Providence, and we've been here ever since. So the reason I'm sharing this story is that this is true for everybody. These signs, these messages, these indicators with respect to our lives are always speaking to us and always showing up, and are always here, actually, as long as we're paying attention. The truth is, I could have, I mean, we dealt with the mold and the mildew and all of those things, and we had no choice. But the deeper call, the deeper prod or push was to realize that, our time there was over, it was finished, and it was time to move on, to create new opportunities, and specifically opportunities for expansion, for growth, and for kind of new avenues and new outlets for our creative and spiritual expression. And so with that recognition, of course, everything fell into place, as it always does. And we moved on and we moved out. Recently, I was on YouTube and I came across a video of a woman who was, telling her story. And it was a really tragic story because she had essentially given away her entire life savings to a scammer. He was a romance scammer, pretending to be some wealthy kind of engineer, I think is what she said he was. And he struck up a conversation, and then she ended up sending him money. And then, of course, what happens, as you know, on YouTube, if you watch any kind of video, any kind of content, then YouTube very happily will keep putting this similar content in front of you on your feed. And of course, because I watched one of those stories, then I was inundated with all similar stories of women in particular who had been scammed out of their life savings, or, the bulk of their savings. But the one message that was predominant, and I didn't watch masses of them. I think I watched maybe three of them. But the predominant message with all of those women were they had been given signs. They had a feeling that something was off. They kept thinking, kept hoping for the best, but still there was a nagging doubt. Yet they continued on, and they really didn't heed their own intuitive knowing, their own inner messages, the voice within them that was saying, this isn't such a good idea. And, the reason I'm bringing that up is because oftentimes what happens is we are given these signs, we're given messages, we're shown things that we don't want to see, but there can be fear about taking action steps, or there can be fear about trusting what we're hearing, feeling, and perceiving. And in particular, on the spiritual path, or let's even forget the word spiritual, but call it on the sort of it's not even a path, the pathless path of self-recognition, or absolute awareness itself, or however you want to phrase that. It's imperative that you start to lean into and to trust what feels right for you, to listen to your inner guidance, to act on what you're feeling and perceiving and intuiting, and really have the courage to pay attention and to just stop long enough to really listen to what it is here to gift you with. And we all have that capacity. It's not that, one person is more sort of intuitively inclined than the other. We all have that capacity, but what happens, it's like a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it gets. The more we lean into it, then the more likely we are to lean into it another time when there's a bigger call to action. So I hopped on here today to share that with you, to really encourage you to pay attention to messages that show up in your life, to listen, to even inquire, what is this here to show me? Because certainly in the story I shared, if that intuition, if that epiphany hadn't landed in such a big way and profound way, I would, out of habit, I would have just looked at that and inquired, what are you here to show me? Because I've done that for years and years and years, and I always do. I do it when I'm sick, or, if I have a headache, or if there's, some issue happening that is uncomfortable to look at, I'll always say, what are you here to show me? So if you have the courage to do that, if you're at least willing to inquire into what an aspect of your life, a relationship, a work situation, a health condition is here to show you, to teach you, then you'll be shown the way, and you'll be given the right guidance so that you can respond in a way that is loving and kind, rather than in a way that is fearful or fear-based and constrictive. So that's my prayer for you today. And I really encourage you to listen to your own inner guidance and to be true to it, to live true to it. And if you do, I promise you, it will never fail you. It will never fail you. It will always have your own best and highest interest in the heart of it. So that's my little kind of offering for today. I hope all is well. Enjoy the weekend. Have a great rest of the day. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.